Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and it's time for my weekly update. It's Monday, October 9th, Columbus Day here in the States, which only means we probably won't get any mail. No stitchy mail today. I did receive mail, I think the day I filmed my last video, maybe that afternoon. I remember last week I talked to you about finding patterns for my boys to stitch, and I picked up the Dragon Ride online, Patterns Online by Teresa Winsler, and this one I got on Etsy. It's Touchdown, I guess is what it's called, and this is the one I was going to do for him in using some converted colors. And I may smooth out the edges so they're not choppy, use some fractional stitches to make it a little bit more realistic, because I like that look better. I don't mind fractionals. So I've got these two, not sure when I want to start them. I'm really interested in starting this one. I was at Hobby Lobby this week and picked up some light blue 28 count even weave and did a floss toss on Instagram, and I think it's going to look really nice. Some of these blues might blend in a little bit, but everything's backstitched. So I think it'll be a nice, like, sky background for them to go flying in, and all the golds and yellows will pop off of this blue pretty well, because they're contrasting colors. So that's the plan for that one. So I don't have the beads for that, but I could start that at any point, and it may end up being sometime next year, maybe the beginning of the Olympics challenge. I could start I could start that one. The first day of it is a new start. And anyways, that's entirely possible, because I have a couple other things I want to start this year, so I can only start so many things. And I'm currently trying not to start anything because I'm trying to finish stuff right now. I'm trying to finish my Royal Holiday, trying to finish the Greetings from the Parks regularly, trying to finish these little monthly things. My goals right now are finishing goals, and yet because of that, I think, everything I want to do is buy more, start more, work on everything else. Anyways, I'm still making progress, I'm still finishing, I'm trying to be a good girl. But I do want to start everything. So I received a RAK from Becky G, and she's probably from New Jersey, because that was, yep. And I know her on Instagram and I think Facebook. I don't believe she makes videos. If you do, let me know, and I'd like to follow you. But I think she's a Flosstube watcher at this point. But she found a large collection of patterns at her library, because I guess a shop in her area had closed a few years back, and they recently donated them to the library. The library was selling them for 10 cents each, I think, and so she picked up a whole bunch of them, had some duplicates, and offered me some of them, and so I said sure. So here's the four, I think there's four that she sent me. The first one is a lavender and lace. This one is Ivy Wed. And I already did the Bride by Lavender and Lace. I don't necessarily have a desire to do another Bride, but this one looked like it could be maybe color converted to just be a normal person. Like you take her veil out and make her dress more rich greens or burgundies or, whatever, and make her just a pretty lady. So that's kind of my thoughts on that one. She also sent Country Cottage Needleworks, My Beloved, I Am My Beloved's, and My Beloved's Is Mine by Song of Solomon. And this could be a wedding sampler, anniversary sampler, something like that. potentially. So that's an idea. I liked it, so I thought, sure, why not? And this is a Teresa Wensler's Castle sampler. I was a little surprised when I received it. These people are all 2/2. I would have imagined at least maybe their faces would be 1/1 because she does that a lot, but it's all 2/2. The minstrels and the king and everything. And there's actually an alphabet around the edge and the numbers. So no plans to start that, but it's kind of fun. I mean, I wouldn't say no to that. And there's, this one was fun, Teresa Wensler's Footprints. I have a footprints pattern that I like that I've actually stitched twice. If you've seen my finished video, you've seen that. And it's very simple and I love it. But when I noticed this has actually some specialty stitches in it, there's some drawn thread work and some specialty bands, specialties in here. Yeah, I think these are specialty stitches too. I thought that could be kind of fun. I don't know if I made this, if I would actually do the whole border, because that would be a lot of work. But I do like this part with all this, the text and the specialty stitches. So maybe I would do a modified border to include a little bit of this, like, and just like this inside one, but not all the fish, because it seems unnecessary. But yeah, that looked kind of fun. So thank you, Becky. That was a fun treat to be able to partake in that deal that you found, and I hope you found a whole bunch more even for yourself that you can stitch now. Then I went, while I was at Hobby Lobby, I decided I need to start kitting up this, because I want to start this as soon as Royal Holiday is done. This is the Heirloom Nativity Sampler, and my husband got me this for my birthday. It's got the story of the Nativity with a bunch of specialty stitches as well. And I'm going to use mostly DMC. I'm going to convert this to DMC for the scenes, and it's called for all these silks, but most of them are solid colored silks, and I'm not going to do that. But I did need to buy Pro Cotton for the Hardanger, which I've never done. So that's going to be a new adventure. Number 8 and number 12. I got those at Hobby Lobby. And then I went to my LNS and got the 2 Glorianas that they call for. This colorful one is called Bellagio, and I had to get that. There was no way I could not get that. That's for some of these bands in here. You just keep doing the specialty stitches along the band and it changes. So much fun. So pretty. So that had to happen. And they actually had this other green one too, which is it's called Elizabethan green. It's very, very mild, tonal, very variegated. So I probably didn't need this one, but I got it anyways. Because there was only 2 Glorianas, and there's one Gast that the LNS was sold out, so they're ordering that for me. It's a brown variegated for that. But I figured I would go ahead and get these and enjoy that, and then all the other Avera Soie and what have you, I'll just do DMC. And I'll do B5200 for, instead of the Krennic Mori, for all of these, like, whatever else they're going to use it for. Because that's just not necessary. MPI silks for some of them, too. There's a lot of random beads. And I have a question. SJ Designs beads, if anybody knows where to find those, I would be interested. I would also be curious if, they also have Access brand, Access Mother of Pearl Star beads, and boutique trims. I know you can buy the accessory packs for this, but it's beads and threads, and it's like $60, and I'm not going to do that. So They have a couple Mill Hills, but those other brands, I don't know where to find them. And I don't mind substituting other things that I can find in bead stores or craft stores, but I don't know what they look like. Like the SJ Design says petite bead. So what size is the petite bead? And because there's like a Sundance brand in my LNS, and I wouldn't mind. They had one of these colors is called Bronze Iris. There's a color there that looked like it could be considered Bronze Iris. It's like a purpley, oily color, you know, but I don't know if it's small enough for what their plan is. So if anybody knows where those can be found online, even if I don't buy them from them, to know like what size they are and what they look like, to be able to know if I should try substituting them safely with something else or buying them. So that would be nice to know. Yeah, but other than that, other than those beads, and the sable, gassed sable that's on order, that could be started at any point. As soon as Royal Holiday is done, hopefully November, maybe December. I also bought I downloaded, I guess, a free chatelaine pattern. If anybody has not seen that yet, I'll put a picture in. There's a free Halloween chatelaine pattern. She released like 4 or 5 new little Halloween patterns, and one of them will be free for a limited time. So I snatched that up. And something I wanted to say, while I was at my LNS, somebody recognized me from Flosstube for the first time. So that was a unique experience to have somebody be like, I've seen your videos. Never had that happen before. So my LNS that's closest to me is called Queen Anne Stitches, and it's in Santa Clarita, California, and it's mostly a needlework shop, but they do have a little bit of cross stitching, lots of fun threads. So the main reason I go there is for the threads. It's fun to see them in person and know whether or not to get them, whether or not they have variegation, or they do seem to have a little bit better prices than some online shops too, as far as the actual threads. Fabrics and patterns, I'm not sure that they're competitively priced, but the threads are actually pretty good priced. So, but I met Pat. So, hi Pat. I met her when I went there with Shelly, and she, like a month ago, and she was working on the Heaven and Earth Designs World Travel Bookshelf, and regular size, you know, the big, she's almost done with that. It looks really good. It's so big, and almost done. Like, she's probably, I don't know how fast she stitches, but she's pretty close to finishing that. So that looks really cool to see in person. And then when I came this time by myself, she came up to me and says, do you have a Flosstube channel? So then we started talking, and she encouraged me, and one of the shop ladies also encouraged me to come stitch with them. Timing wise, this year is tricky for going down there to stitch because they don't open until 11 in the morning, and the times that I'm completely child free only last until 12 on 3 days a week. So I could go down for an hour, and I may do that. We'll see. I might just wait till next year when I have a little bit more time, when my youngest goes till like 2 to school. So, but who knows? I may, if I feel like I'm pretty caught up on the things here at home that I need to do, then maybe I'll sneak away for an hour and go stitch with the ladies down there. So maybe. If you go to Queen Anne Stitches, it'd be fun to see you there sometime. Let's see. I already talked about my startitis, which I have not given into, by the way. I've been good. But I do have a give up. I've been looking at my whip list, and I've showed this in my whip parade, so I figured, in all honesty, I need to account for it if anybody's keeping track. I don't know if anybody is, but somebody down the line might be like, hey, I thought you had this one too. Whatever happened to that? So I'm getting rid of this. I'm not doing this one anymore. This is my Mickey and the Gang Cruisin'. It was a kit. I started it ages ago. I came back to try to finish it because I thought I could sell it finished in my Etsy shop. And I wouldn't mind finishing it for that, but they have a really strict licensing policy on here. No license has been granted to apply this product to decorate articles which will thereafter be sold. So it's like if I were to sell this as my pattern, clearly that would be copyright infringement. But a lot of them, if I sell my finished work, that's not, because I'm selling my work. I'm not selling the pattern. So, but in their case, in that specific wording, that makes me think I can't do it. So that it's not really me. This is how far I got. I got most of the people done. And the white is already stained because it's been so old and not washed. So a little bit on Daisy's head is dirty. If anybody wants this to finish it, you may need to redo the white. But there's a lot of fractionals in there. If nobody wants it, I'm just gonna probably hold on to it, and maybe my kids will like want to do it someday, or but no more. This is not on my whip list anymore. So that's that. So let me know if you want to finish it. No pressure. I don't have any expectations that someone's gonna want to. But there's that. So that's kind of a freeing off my chest. One more thing, because some of my older whips, I'm not necessarily like in love with them right now, or in love with the thought of stitching them right now, but I still like them. So potentially when I go back into them, they could, you know, rekindle some interest. But that one, I'm just like, I mean, I like Mickey Mouse all right, but it's just not really, I don't want to spend my time stitching on it. So that's that. This week, I worked on November, and I had myself all, Joyful World Diaries, I had myself all, like, mentally prepared to just finish it the rest of this month sometime and squeeze in some minutes here and there to get it done, because I was pretty for sure I was not going to finish it in the 5 days I had planned out. And then I got a little bit of extra time on Friday, and then my husband decided to stay up and finish some sports games on TV. So I brought this over with me and got so close. So when he was ready to go up and get ready, I'm like, I need to finish this. So he mocked my need to finish it. That's what husbands will do sometimes. That it was that important to me to stay up. So I ended up staying up just past midnight, but I got it done. So now it's done. Here is November from the Snowflower Diaries. This is their Joyful World Sal. And super pretty, super cute. Again, these are 28 count tea-dyed Monaco 1/1. And somebody asked in the comments, so I'll just refresh everybody. I bought one tube of fabric at Hobby Lobby, I believe, although I don't think they sell it anymore. This past year they discontinued selling it. And chopped it all up into 12 pieces. So one tube made 12 pieces that were about 5 by 7, and so it fits my frame. I don't know if I showed this last time, but October is in there now. And because the frame's so dark, you know, like I said before, this color was kind of bugging me, but it's fine. And I'm not fixing it. And I heard that that's the same color as the gassed color it would have been. So it's just different than what was on the cover picture, so it threw me a little bit, but it's done. And it will be done. And then this is done too. A lot of icy blues, like there's blue here, blue in these light blue in the flowers. Even this brown is laced with blue-gray, which is kind of a fun frosty touch. And there's snowflakes, which was fun, and a little layer of snow on the ground. That's not what December's like here. November, even December here is like fall leaves. If we get any frost and snow, it's more like January, February, but it's still pretty. So it's done. And so now, well, I guess I'll go on to this. My weekend project was the Greetings in the Park Stitch Along by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is their second National Park Stitch Along. And I will show you a picture of what it looked like last time. And here it is now. I finished arches 100% and made some good progress on Grand Teton. So the sky is, and the mountains and trees are all done except for right here. I even did a little bit of the light green this morning just to finish my thread. There's a little bit more green there. The same green is going to be the field, and then there's a river. So there's just light green and dark blue left on that. So I should be able to finish that this coming Saturday. And then the new clue will be coming out on Sunday, the 15th. So I'll get probably 2 more postcards to work on. And you will notice I have a cute Frosted Pumpkin National Parks needle minder. This is courtesy of Shelly. She gave this to me because we're both working on national parks, and I have never used a needle minder before. And she thought, you know, no pressure to use it. If you don't want to, just put it on your fridge. You know, thought I would try it. I've always assumed, since I hold my fabric like this, that it would be too heavy and would weigh down my fabric, but it really hasn't bothered me. I put it up here at the top because that's usually where I park my needle. And I have noticed I tend to park my needle on the back of the needle minder more than the front, because when I'm lacing my threads under to cut them off, I'll just set it here. So I don't know if I want to just put the needle minder on backwards so that the pretty side is here, because that's the side I use more often, or if I'll just keep doing it the way I'm doing it. But you know what? I really like it. So thanks, Shelly. It's actually, it saves that, you know, fraction of a minute where you have to weave. I usually would just, you know, weave the needle in like that, but that's a lot faster. So I may be converted to use needle minders when I stitch in hand. I won't store them with my projects because I store them in rolls, and a lot of the rolls are just big enough for the fabric. So if I were to roll this up, it may still fit in my roll that way, but it may not. Sorry, my contact was bothering me. So what I might do is I'll just, especially since I only have one, I'll probably, when I go to put this away, I'll park my needle in the fabric and then put my needle minder on my side table and then put it on my next one. So Royal Holiday might get some little pumpkin rangers too. And see how I like using a needle minder on a larger project, because this is kind of small. So I'll be using this on Royal Holiday this week too and seeing how that goes. But so far, I really like the ease and speed of this. It's just one little small technique, you know, to speed up the stitching process, which we could all use more time because we all want to stitch all the things, so might as well take it where we can get it, right? So that's been fun. I made pretty good progress on that. A little part of me was hoping I would have finished that completely this weekend and then have more time next weekend to work on something else on Saturday, but it is what it is. I still have one more day assigned to it before the new clue comes out, and I think that should be enough time. I almost forgot to show, I didn't write it down. Oops. My temperature garden. I did get caught up on this again. I worked on this yesterday, I think. So here's where it was last time. And here's where it is now. So I did October's first flower and these 3 stems. So now September is 100% completed and October is begun. So that's where that's at. And I have my kits up in my shop now. I just put them up on Friday. I finalized my listing. And so the PDFs and the kits are available. Something I noticed that was funny with Royal Holiday, I've been talking about it quite a bit, you know, the last month or so. And it keeps getting sold out on 123 Stitch. And I keep hearing lots of you say, oh, you enabled me to go buy that. So I think I've been enabling enough that 123 Stitch keeps selling out of Royal Holiday. So if you want it, I'm sure you could find it somewhere else, or just wait and they'll probably get new stock in. Because it's, you know, I don't blame you, it's gorgeous. So speaking of Royal Holiday, this is where she is now. I will be working on this again starting today. So this is her, and I'm going to be focusing on this tan bit. There's a little bit right here in the pink that it's gnawing at me because it's not done yet, but I didn't have time last week, or last time. So I'll finish that color and wherever that takes me, and then I'll move over into the tan. And I may get to some beads as well, because there's these little red beads are in here. So, and there'll probably be some Krennic. So we'll see how far I get this week. 5 days on her. And going forward, I did some more 2018 planning with like filling in spots for the coming year, which fancy lady to work on which month, and a few things that I want to start and where they might fit in, and as well as like which regular type cross stitch, you know, non-full coverage but not a fancy lady, where those might fit in best. And as well as Shelly was saying, she doesn't think the Frosted Pumpkin Storytime Sampler will take me the entire month's worth of weekends to get each little, you know, month piece done. And she's probably right, because those little guys are cute. They're small. They're probably like the size of one of these. So to do one for, you know, 4 weekends, I'll probably be done early every week, every month, So I went in and picked like a backup weekend piece for every month as well, just for next year, just to, some of the pieces that maybe could get more progress quicker, because they would only have a couple days. So there's a few things I'm like, well, yeah, maybe I could, plug this little one in here, and this, none of mine are little, let's be real, but some that are a little bit more simplistic in their style, so it's not, like, no full coverages are backup for a weekend, but, so I did a few of that, and it's probably all going to change, but it's been fun to kind of play around some more with that. So, and then I was thinking too about Stargazer, which I received for my birthday, and I really like the Phantom fabric that Ann P is using. But the more I look at it, and the more I look at other dark blue modeled fabric, I'm not a fan of modeling necessarily. Like, I don't mind slight modeling, I guess, but I think that would be too busy for me. I did find a new fabric by Lakeside Linens called Midnight Blue, and I'll try to put a little swatch sample up here for you. They have a vintage version, but I think I would probably just get the regular version. And I can get it on 1-2-3 stitch. It's fairly expensive, and I read on another website, I think Traditional Stitches, it's more expensive than regular linen because it's double dyed to get that rich color. So there's more ingredients, that go into it. I also don't like how blue and black she is compared to a dark blue fabric. Like, she just seems, she looks good on this color fabric, but I don't like this color fabric, especially for the stars. I want the stars to pop more. And so she's too, I don't want it to be all blue. Her jacket looks like it's like charcoal color here, which I'm also not really a fan of, and it would blend in too much with the dark fabric, I think. So what I'm going to do, I wrote myself a little note of some, like, my current thoughts on this, and this also might change, but what I'd like to do is maybe that midnight fabric with a burgundy jacket, so a dark bluish red, so burgundy color for her jacket, and the ribbons, which there's some ribbons that come in here and they really blend in with the colors they've chosen, and they go out here. Maybe the ribbons would be gold, and then keep this front part the same, the light blue color. Maybe. I've seen conversions on the Facebook group, Mirabilia Nora Corbett Conversions, and there's a lady who did like a dark pink jacket, a lady who did a purple jacket, and that kind of aesthetic, I like that. So I think I'll probably do my own conversion, so it'll be like a dark burgundy, not as bright as the pink one, not as purple as the purple one. And I've seen different people doing different colored ribbons, so we'll see how that goes. And her hair, I want to make her hair light brown, not dark brown, because again, I think it might blend in too much with the dark fabric. She's got pretty dark hair there, so maybe I might lighten that up to be a light brown hair instead of dark brown. So we'll see. That's my current thoughts. Again, no real plans to start that anytime soon. I was just kind of thinking, now that I have it, what would I do with it? Because all along I knew I would probably want to convert her. I just never had the pattern, so it was not necessary to think about it. So now I'm like, well, I have it. I should probably figure out what I'm going to do with her. So that fabric's pretty expensive, so I might wait. I put it on my wish list for the off chance someone might get it for Christmas. If someone else knows of a dark blue, not super modeled fabric, a fat quarter, that's less than $36, hit me up. Let's see. But yeah, I don't think I want anything black or gray. I think I like the blue toned. Dark blue for. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. I think I'm done now. I'm just starting to babble. So I think that's everything. So I'm being good. I'm working on the things I'm supposed to be working on. But as soon as Royal Holiday is done, I'm starting stuff. So look forward to that. So that's motivation to finish her. Dawn Frosty X Stitch started her the little leaf free pattern from DMC that I have, and I mentioned that I could start that on 40 count gauze. I really want to start it with you. I want to stitch it along with you, Dawn, but I really want to get Royal Holiday done, so we'll see. That might, I don't know when that'll happen, but there's too many things that I want to keep up on. So it is what it is. I hope you all are enjoying what you've chosen to work on, and have a lovely week. Happy stitching!